So before the increase, I tried to modify my loan with the bank. The bank wouldn't even talk to me. I had to stop making my mortgage payments so they would listen. Within 3 months, there was a trustee sale date on my house. Sleepless nights, crying nights, you name it. I was just terrified. At 7 a.m. in the morning, the date of the trustee sale, Chase called me and told me they were going to put me on a 3-month trial period. I was overjoyed. I felt like now there was help to come, but little did I know that that 3-month mortgage trial period would turn into 14 months of nothing, absolutely nothing. After 4 months, I called, 8 months, 9 months, 12 months, same, nothing. All I got were excuses. After many phone calls, Chase agreed. I stopped, after 14 months, I stopped making the payment again. And again, within 3 months, there was a new trustee sale date for my house. After many phone calls, Chase agreed to reconsider me for a modification, and so I submitted 69 pages of application materials. They mishandled my documents 3 times and forced me to resubmit every single page again. As I stand here before you, my loan is still not modified with Chase. This is every piece of paperwork that I carry every day on my back. As a businesswoman, if I go into contract with a client and do not hold up my end of the bargain, I would lose my licenses and possibly go to jail. How do banks get away with this?
Yeah.
To our elected officials here today, please stop this madness. As you work to make banks responsible for the mess they've made, remember my story and remember the weight that thousands of Californians are carrying with them every day. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Tanya Dennis and I'm a home defender with ACE. Newspaper group. I've lived in European Oakland for over 50 years and I paid on my home for 20 years. Unfortunately, in 2008 I became critically ill. I was bedridden for a year. I had major surgery. It took me 6 months to recuperate. And of course, Wells Fargo foreclosed on my property in that time. I have a pick-a-pay loan with Wachovia. That's a negative amortization loan. By the time I defaulted, I owed $80,000 more than when I first took the loan out. So I'm nothing but a high-priced renter. Wells Fargo ended up foreclosing, traumatized my granddaughter to the point where when she hears sirens, she starts crying because she thinks the sheriffs are coming to evict us from our home. I did a forensic loan audit, and like many other Americans, I found out that there was fraud, and more fraud. They securitized my loan, there were breaks in the chain of title, there was default. At the time of default, the substitute trustee was fraudulent. But in spite of this, they foreclosed. I repossessed my home. They threw me out on December 9th. I broke back in my home January 18th. I joined ACE, and what we did was it's like roaches in the dark, and they're there. When you turn on the light, they scatter. With ACE and the media, Wells Fargo called me, and they said, Ms. Dennis, are you willing to work with us? We'll give you a modification, Ms. Dennis. If you have to do this, they shouldn't have to do the research I did. They shouldn't shouldn't have to fight when the banks are the ones that are fraudulent. That's why we need legislation. That's why we have to come together as a group and make it happen.
Good morning. My name is Jackie Brazil, and I lost my home fraudulently in September of 2010 to Bank of America. Nobody should have to experience what I did. I am a registered nurse, born and raised in Riverside, California. I am a leader with ICUC. I have 6 children. In March of 2007, I purchased a home in the city of Riverside. I put $70,000 down on my home, got a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage through Countrywide. I made sure to get a good loan with sustainable payments, and I made my mortgage every month on time. In early 2008, my hours at work were reduced. After months of reduced income, I started having difficulty paying my mortgage. When I reached out to Bank of America, I was told they would not even talk with me unless I was behind on my mortgage. Eventually, I did fall behind and started working with a HUD-approved counseling agency who began helping me modify my loan. It was such a relief to hear Bank of America representatives tell me that I was a good candidate for the HAMP program and that my application was moving forward. Although the bank lost my paperwork on numerous occasions and my counselor and I spoke to a different customer service rep every time we called, the bank continued to reassure me, and I was confident that I would be able to stay in my home. This all came to a screeching halt last fall, when one day I came home from work and there was a notice pinned to my door telling me to vacate the premises in 3 days. Bank of America had sold my house at auction while I was in the middle of loan modification proceedings. I was in complete disbelief. They hadn't told me anything at all about my house being up for auction, and now I was forced to vacate with my children in 3 days. I immediately contacted my housing counselor, and together we got BofA on the phone. Do you know what BofA's response was? We don't have to modify your loan. It's a voluntary program. We're under no obligation to offer you a modification. Yes, we sold your house. Get out. The ironic thing is that I'm now back to work full-time. If BofA had only worked with me, I could have saved my home. BofA needs to be held accountable for what they do.